Hello everybody and welcome back to another commentary on the channel. Today I'm delivering the commentary that I promised you'd be getting, Miami, Oklahoma. I know this show happened a little over a month and a half ago, but I had to take some time from commentaries and I wanted to make sure that this commentary hit just as hard as I want it to, and so that is why we are here today, ready to do the Miami commentary. One of two. We're not doing the second one today. The second one will come at some point, but I wanted to just get it going. I feel like there was no point in waiting and doing them both at the same time. If I can get one in there, we're going to get this one in there. So today we have Miami, Oklahoma, number 1. And I'm very excited to be here today. So let's meet the drivers who are competing in this event. We've got a long field of trucks as we usually do. We have Jordan Fisher driving Airmail, Alec White driving Bad Decision, Darren Basil driving Blockhead, Devin Jones driving Crusheroo, there he is right there. David Olford driving Dirt Crew. Jamie Garner driving Overboard. Ryan Disharoon driving Shaker. Trip Jones driving Tailgater. John Zimmer Jr. driving Terminal Velocity. Tim Jones driving the Monster Blog 20th Anniversary. I'm intrigued about that. John Zimmer in Uproar and Zach Garner in Wildside. There's that 20th Anniversary Monster Blog truck. It's a really great field of trucks. Miami, Oklahoma is arguably the most coveted independent show to drive in every single year. It's one of the biggest independent floors. It always gets a ton of viewing on YouTube. This is such a big event, and man, it is so cool to be able to cover this show every single year. Shout out to Turbert for this video. I'm very, very excited to get it underway. Also wanted to take a brief moment before we get into this commentary today, before we get into the action, to just make a comment on something I wanted to talk about. One of my shorts blew up recently. It was an MJ Solorio's two-wheel skills run from the World Finals, and I got a lot of comments saying how negative I was in that video, and it made me realize how negative I was in general for the World Finals. I don't usually pay attention to hate comments. I don't really care, but there was a lot of truth in the fact that I was genuinely being very critical of the World Finals. I wasn't really just commentating. I was focusing too much and being too negative and focusing too much on negative things. I was expecting too much. The expectations were too high. So I just wanted to say I apologize for that. I know the World Finals commentary wasn't my favorite. I didn't really do the job I would have liked. I really want to just apologize for that right now. The show itself was fairly good, and I wish I gave you guys a better commentary for it. I was more just reacting to what I was seeing and had a very negative approach to it. So I just wanted to take a second and apologize for that and say that going forward, I'm going to try and be more objective in what I'm doing. I feel like I have slipped a little bit as of late, expecting too many good things, and I know you guys aren't looking for that. You guys want to just see a natural commentary, and it's not going to help my channel grow if I'm not just being out there as an announcer. I'm here to be an announcer for monster trucks on this channel. That's the whole point. I'm not here to be a critic. So, without further ado, we get into the best trick competition. Blockhead going for a nice sky wheelie off the cars. This is Darren Basil. Now, Darren Basil we've gotten to see a lot on this channel, and the best trick competition in Miami is always fun. They get 2 hits to do whatever they want, and then they get to do a donut. He chooses to use the 2 car stacks right in front of us, and then he will get his opportunity to do his donut. I will judge these runs. I don't know if Turbert's going to show the scores of the winners. I don't know if that was his attempt at a donut. I think it is. So my score for Blockhead, he got a 15. I would have given him a 6. Here comes Tailgater. This is Trip Jones, usually driven by his father, Tim. I found out that Tim Jones is his dad. I did not know that. Someone thankfully let me know in the comments of the last video Trip Jones drove in. Hitting the car stack for move number 2. Pretty solid hit there. Again, also, I want you guys to know the commentaries aren't going to be changing. I'm just going to be kind of altering the way I approach it. Instead of being so negative about stuff, I'm going to try and stay positive about it. Pretty solid run. Could have improved a lot, but again, Trip Jones is a younger driver. He's got a lot to learn. He got a 12. I would have given him 4.7. Here comes Bad Decision. This is Alec White. He's driven in this event a lot over the last couple of years. Tried a bicycle there. Now, this truck has made a lot of laps here in Miami, Oklahoma. I'm sure Alec White's probably more of a local guy, which is why he gets a chance to drive here, because I don't see him driving many shows elsewhere. But I'm intrigued to see his growth. I mean, every year you seem to see a little bit more growth out of this kid, and I like the attempts he's making here. Trying the bicycle, the reverse popper. Back in the day, he would have never done moves like that, so it's nice to see something a little bit different. Is he going to go for another one here? All right. Going for a third 2-wheel move. Now, the best trick competition is any move on anything. It doesn't have to be on 2 wheels. So it was almost like they gave him a second shot at that second move. Now going for a donut. I am going to give him the lead here with a 6.9. It's pretty good for the bad decision. Alec White. We'll see if the judges gave him the lead. He did not. It's a 12. I'm surprised by that score. I thought it would be a little higher. Here comes Airmail. This is driven by Jordan Fisher. This is one of Team Saigon Shaker's trucks, the Metal Shop trucks. First time ever seeing this truck competing, so exciting as he went for a little stoppie. This truck was going to be in a Zoomies video that ended up getting scrapped. Nice air right in front of us. Love the sound of that truck. He didn't do a donut, but he still took the lead with a 16. I don't know how much I would have given that a lead, but the judges do. Here comes John Zimmer. Uproar. Running Zoomies on this truck, which is very nice. Love to see that. Have never witnessed the Uproar truck with Zoomies on it. It's such a different feel with Zoomies on this truck. Two pretty solid moves. We've not really seen anyone go above and beyond in this competition, do any crazy two-wheel maneuvers, but so far everyone's being pretty consistent. Alright. Pretty solid out of the Uproar truck. That's John Zimmer. He got a 15, which puts him in second. Ties him for second. Here's Dirt Crew. This is David Olfert. David Olfert, recently a new member of this team. Not sure what he was trying there, but he hit the back of that ramp. Didn't really get any traction for any sort of stoppie, so could not quite pull off his two moves and got an 11. Dirt Crew a little disappointed, but he will have another event to try and show off. Here comes Overboard. This is Jamie Garner. Nice to see Jamie get to drive the Overboard truck. Obviously, when he does independent shows, that's the truck he drives, because El Toro Loco is a Feld body, and, well, he's not going to drive that in independent shows, because he can't. So we'll see what Jamie does for move number 2. Trying to get that ramp kind of a little bit less muddy. Seems like there's a little mud on the track. Nice, there you go. Walked it right up, broke the tailgate off, and Jamie Garner staring at the sky with a brilliant second move here. That was great work out of the Overboard truck. Hands down the best run we've had so far today, even after failing that first move. Gonna do a donut in the sunshine. Great work out of Jamie Garner and Overboard. Very nice. I would give that the lead at about an 8.1. He got a 21. Very nice. Your new leader. Here's the Monster Blog 20th anniversary truck driven by Tim Jones. Interesting attempt there. Now, this is one of Tim Jones's chassis. I don't know if he's running an older chassis for this truck. Gets nice and vertical on the sky wheelie there. I know Tripp is driving the actual tailgater. Nice donut out of Timothy Jones, or as the side of his truck says, Timothy MF Jones. The Monster Blog 20th anniversary. Congratulations to the Monster Blog, by the way. They've been around a long time. They do some of the best independent content out there. Here comes Shaker, Ryan Disharoon. I don't know why he hasn't changed the truck back to Saigon Shaker, but I'm assuming he probably intends to drive in Monster Jam again in the future. And also because the Shaker bodies are so cool. Dealing with that mud, a lot of drivers are, and it prevents him from getting a really great stoppie. Love the star they cut out of the windshield. Pretty neat look going along with the truck. Jumps over the red car stack. His two moves were the books. Let's see the donut, Ryan Disharoon. Love that he's rocking this two-tone body style as well. Such a pretty design, one of the best. Ooh, had some motor failure there, it looked like, on that donut. Hopefully that doesn't keep him out the rest of the weekend. That was not good. Looks like there's oil coming out of the bottom of the truck too, so not good. Here comes Crusheroo, the hometown boy. This is Devin Jones, a man who has won more King of Miamas than anyone else. Last year's winner was John Zimmer Jr., but Devin Jones has gotten so many, a lot of times from doing some of those crazy somersault moves he loves to do. jump over the red car stack in front of us. He's also been driving for a very long time. So Devin Jones's career is, I'm sure, winding down at some point. He gets an 18. Got a couple drivers left. We've got John Zimmer Jr. in terminal velocity, and then we should see Zach Garner in Wildside. What was he trying there? It was almost like he wanted to do a popper off the car stack. Interesting. Gonna try a stoppie over here. A lot of drivers have had trouble with that mud. Yep, he can't quite pull it off either. That slick side of the track really causing problems in this competition. And that's gonna probably impact his scores. But he's got a donut still to do. The auto white balance feature on Turbird's camera is kind of throwing me off, because when it's picking up the sunshine on the far side, it's turning everything blue. He did not take the lead. A lot of drivers getting between that 15 and 18. And here comes Zach Garner in Wildside, who at the time was the defending World Racing Champion, but is not. That is Todd LeDuc, who will not be able to defend that championship. Wildside finally pulling off a stoppie. No one's been able to do it tonight. He did it on that side of the ramp that has seemingly been a little bit drier. We saw his father try a reverse popper and do a very good move, and he's trying to knock his father out of the lead right now with this run. And Zach Garner doing a really good job balancing 12,000 pounds on the front two wheels. These fans in Miami are loving it, and he's still got plenty of room to walk it. There's someone next to the camera who has not stopped clapping from the second he started. He's got the steering wheel off too, by the way. You can see that right underneath the fiberglass. Very nice run. Wildside putting on an incredible performance. Gotta love the quick release steering wheel. You can take that thing off and put it right back on. Going for a bicycle. The mud kind of prevented him from a good one, but we'll see if the score could be enough for him to take that lead and presumably the win. We have not seen, we've seen everyone so far. Wildside kicking it into gear for this donut. Very nice. That was a good run from Zach Garner. We'll see if it's enough for him to win the best trick competition today. Yes, it is. A 24, and Zach Garner in Wildside has gotten it done here in Miami Night 1. Now we go to racing. We've got Airmail being driven by Jordan Fisher, taking on Uproar being driven by John Zimmer. Miami Racing's great because it's straight line racing, and Uproar gets the win. The mud will be a little interesting to see how that impacts these races, but John Zimmer gets it done. Here comes Blockhead taking on Bad Decision. We've got Darren Basil in the Blockhead taking on Alec White in the Bad Decision, and it was a close race. Couldn't tell who won. Alec White put on a good race. Looks like he is celebrating as if he won it. Zach Garner and Wildside will now take on Tim Jones in the Monster Blog 20th anniversary truck. Pretty close. Zach Garner falling behind, and it's going to be Tim Jones picking up the win. Impressive victory there for Tim Jones, taking down a racing champ. Here comes Crusheroo, driven by Devin Jones, taking on John Zimmer in Uproar. Devin Jones always very good in racing, and he takes it down here in this race. Uproar having some brake trouble there. You can see the brakes sparking very mightily on that truck. We move along to the next race here. We've got Darren Basil and Blockhead taking on Tim Jones in the Monster Blog 20th anniversary. The mud causes some troubles for Blockhead, but man, Tim Jones looked like he didn't get those front wheels up the ramp. I don't know if they assess penalties like that here in Miami, but we'll find out. Now we get a look at Trip Jones and Tailgater taking on John Zimmer Jr. in terminal velocity. John Zimmer Jr., an incredible racer, takes him down. Terminal velocity will advance into the next round. Your defending Miami champion. David Olfert in Dirt Crew will now take on Jamie Garner and Overboard. Jamie Garner struck a little worse for the wear after his great two-wheel run before, and it is a close race. Looked like it went the way of Overboard, though. David Olfert could not quite keep up. Now Devin Jones and Crusheroo will take on John Zimmer Jr. Terminal Velocity. Should be a good race. The hometown hero and the defending Miami champ, and the defending champ gets it done. That is Terminal Velocity with the win. Could not get it done there for Crusheroo. Here's Tim Jones in the 20th anniversary Monster Blog taking on Jamie Garner and Overboard. Another close race, and Jamie Garner tried to come back. I don't know if he did, though. It looked like Tim Jones might have grabbed that win. He did not. So John Zimmer Jr. and Terminal Velocity will take on Jamie Garner and Overboard, and some problems for Terminal Velocity. He's going to hand Overboard a win, but he's kind of all over the place there. He couldn't even cross the line straight, but he is your winner here tonight in Miami. Bit of a sloppy night of racing for some of these guys with all the mud out there, but Jamie Garner prevails and is your winner, and will take us to freestyle, where Alec White in Bad Decision will start us off. Alec White has been competing in this event for many, many years now. I remember when he first debuted in this truck, it's probably been 6 years now, maybe even longer. And he's going to give us our first look at the freestyle track. Miami's always great because it's got a lot of cars out there. They always seem to develop a very unique track. They usually have a big obstacle on the far end there. You see that big green bus stack. And that's usually the star of the show. Typically when someone hits that, they get some big points. They also usually have that big bus stack on the far side, which they do. That always is pretty attractive to the fans. They love watching the drivers hit that. They love to space out the track. You've got to be able to go pretty quick on this track. Momentum and pace is pretty key. And Alec White starting us off. It's also got to be tough driving out there with all that mud. We don't know how much it's impacting certain portions of the track, because obviously we saw it in racing a little bit and we saw it a lot in Best Trick, but you could even see right there that truck sliding around a little bit on the far side, and it doesn't look like they're doing anything to eliminate the amount of mud out there or even to diminish it. So Alec White trying to maneuver the somewhat tough conditions. Gonna hit that back side of the bus stack. The first driver to do it today, going up and over. On the bus, got a nice crowd cheer. Look at all the mud out there on that side. My, oh my, that is thick over there. Now gonna hit the bus the long way. The green truck over the green bus stack. First driver to do that tonight. Now going back to the green bus stack on this side. It's almost like they painted him Bad Decision green. Oh, that looks like Cody's car back there. It's probably not, though. My buddy Cody was at this event. Of course it's not his car. He didn't drive there. Duh. Idiot. Trying another bicycle. My, that was nice. He tried that in Best Trick, and he's able to get a neat one. He's very aggressive with his bicycle attempts, but he got himself an 18.5, and a good way to start off this competition for Bad Decision. Here comes Airmail. This is Jordan Fisher. Let's listen to this beautiful truck. That truck just sounds so stunning. Listen to it from far away. I love the sound of Zoomies from afar. Just a great sound. He's going right for the bus stack, his second hit of the run. Got the flashers going in the front. It's kind of affecting the camera a little bit, which is funny. The camera's kind of projecting the lights out in front of the lights. It's pretty unique. Now this Airmail truck, I don't know what Jordan Fisher's relation is to Ryan Disharoon or what there might be there, because I felt like this was a family-run team. I don't know if maybe there's any family connection there. Nice air. That's the biggest air of the night, going over the bus stack. A truck that is a tribute to mailmen, kind of. It's, I guess. I mean, it's also a tribute to airmail, which is, you know, when carrier pigeons used to carry around the mail from people. Another jump over that bus stack. I also like that they've got the eagle on there, so it's a little bit more than a carrier pigeon. We got the carrier bald eagle. Got a little bit of a lean in the truck. Might be having a sway bar issue. Well, the good thing with the independent shows is they usually don't really care about that stuff. They let them keep running regardless. Now, these first few drivers out always have the pleasure of being able to hit these ramps with no crushing of the cars. They're the ones who are doing the crushing. So we don't have to worry about them hitting things and it not having a lot of lift on it. And he's going to end his run there, it looks like. Yes, he is. He got a 20. He is your new leader. Pretty good run out of the airmail. Jordan Fisher doing a good job. My first time seeing him here. Got to bring out Trip Jones in the tailgater, the son of the legend Tim Jones. Nice air. Now he's going to try and carry on the legacy that Tim Jones always brings to him when he's driving here in Miami, Oklahoma, which is pretty simple. Absolute carnage. If there's one man who knows carnage, it's Tim Jones. And we'll see if his son Trip can follow it up. That light bar is blinding on the front. I can only imagine being there. It probably is going to cause a burning sensation to your retinas when you look at it. The first time I saw Trip Jones on this channel, he didn't really do very well. It was in the Bristol Motor Speedway event. So we'll see how he handles this nice legendary floor in Miami. He's already got a pretty good pace. This is probably the best pace of the day. But he's got to match the air that Airmail got. But I like these big jumps that Trip is getting. He's handling this floor well. It seems like he's learned a lot in just a couple months since we last saw him here on this page. More huge air. Love that he's committing to that. And again, those ramps are only going to get a little bit lower as the night goes along, as he hits the bus stack from that left ramp. Last year, Tim Jones did a backflip here in this competition. It was very fun. Seems to be getting caught up in a little bit of the mud, but he manages to maneuver around it pretty well. Trip's time got to be winding down here, and he's made the most of this Miami, Oklahoma freestyle here in night one. Pretty good showing out of the tailgater. It's a 21, which is tied for the lead. Or did Airmail get a 20? I don't know. Here's Blockhead. Not a straight jump there, but that's one of the few times in which the mud will help him as Darren Basil gets a little luck from the track. You can see how crushed in this body is. Darren Basil is putting this truck through the ringer week in and week out. And this truck is the kind of truck that when you roll it over, it's going to show every little imperfection. And it, in fact, is doing that. Look at all the mud underneath my face that they pushed off to the side there. He's getting caught up in some of it, and it painted the side of the truck. I always love that when the zoomies catch the mud and shoots it up the side of the truck. That is something you will never see in Monster Jam again. It is such a cool look, and it's also got to be such a pain to clean off. Nice air of the Blockhead. Going right over the bus stack. Oh my, came up a little short, but those wheels grip right onto the bus. Seems like he's got a little mud stuck into those treads. Everybody in the independent circuit runs a little bit of a different tire tread. And if you've got a thicker, deeper tire tread, it's going to hold that mud more because there's nothing for it to knock off. So sometimes that'll impact your traction. This is the kind of time where, as he caves in that bus totally, you've got a little bit less tire tread there. It's actually going to help you if you get stuck in the mud. It's just going to rip it right off. He is handling the track well, but nothing has made him stand out from the last two competitors, so he might be right in that same scoring range, but getting some nice air. These last three freestyles have all been very good. And Blockhead is keeping it up, even though he got caught in the mud on that white van stack. He's still managed to do a pretty good job out here. Now, I wonder if someone in the comments can inform me as he goes huge over the bus stack. There's got to be a purpose for why some of the independent trucks have it that when they turn, one axle doesn't spin as much. It's almost like the axles aren't spinning together. I've heard about this before. I forgot exactly what it does, but essentially it means that the wheels don't spin together. They don't spin at the same rate as Blockhead takes the lead there. I want someone to kind of fill me in a little bit on what that is. I know there's a particular thing that does that. As David Olfert and Dirt Crew comes out next, it's essentially, it means that they're, like the Monster Jam trucks have it, that both wheels will spin at the exact same speed. But sometimes you'll see with the independents, and I know a lot of independent trucks have that too, but some independent trucks have it that it's not even. Like, if one wheel doesn't need to spin as much, it's not going to. It will just spin the wheels as necessary. So if someone in the comments can let me know what that is. I was talking... someone told me about this in the drifting world a couple weeks ago, and I actually really completely forgot what it was called. So you can see Dirt Crew doesn't have it, though. All the wheels are spinning at the same time. And I believe they only do it in the front. I've never seen a truck have the back end have that problem, because they need the rear end to be pushing. So David Olfert going to try and take the lead away from your new leader, Darren Basil, who had a very solid run. Going right over the bus stack that Darren just crushed in, and he crushes in pretty much the rest of it. Letting her eat, coming down the straight here with all this room to just let the throttle fly open. The Dirt Crew truck has been around a while. It's competed in this event a lot. Oh, nice! That's a beauty of a move. One of the best moves of the night. Usually Jerry Beck drives this truck, but David Olfert got the pleasure of doing it this year. The only truck from this team that's here, actually. Sometimes you'll get the Quad Chaos truck in there as well, but I believe they sold that truck. Nice air. I know the Triple B Motorsports has a version of Quad Chaos, and I believe it is the Quad Chaos truck. I know they renamed it, but I don't really remember what it was. Pretty good run out of David Olfert. We'll see if it's enough for the lead. It is 25.5. So the judges are giving some higher scores. The guys go along. Hey, Too Tall. It's good to see you. Good to see him driving. Here's John Zimmer in Uproar. I'm excited for this run because we're getting to hear the throttle rhythm of John Zimmer in full force with those zoomies. He's always been a guy that has some really great throttle rhythm. A lot of people compare him to Cole Vennard with the throttle rhythm. I never really noticed it until someone made that comparison, and then I listened to it because this was back when he was driving Dragon. And I was like, oh my goodness, you're right. So now we get to hear it in the zoomies. It's almost like a rebirth of Cole Vennard. Nice air. Love this Uproar truck, and it's always a very unique look whenever I get to see this truck, because that white chassis is something that is so uncommon in all of monster trucks. Usually you see black on 90% of the trucks. You occasionally get some other colors, but this one, very unique with the white. Obviously, Gravedigger's one that's different. They've got green for the chassis on Gravedigger, but it's one of the few that's not just black. Nice air. Peeling off some of that, probably fiberglass back there. I don't know what it is, that clear sheet that was back there. Backing it up. Getting a little stuck in that mud back there, but trying to regroup. Nice job. Gotta watch out, that landing could have hit him right into the bus. Very nice air. Some smoke coming out of the backside. Still dealing with those brakes being a little bit weak in the front. Got a lot of sparks coming out of them. Gotta be careful with that. Trying a bicycle. The back end is pretty covered in mud, and that'll end the Uproar run. He gets a 23, so he will not be your new leader. David Olfert will stay up there. Here comes Tim Jones, the Monster Blog 20th anniversary, going to send it off the bat. He came right out of his parking spot and didn't waste any time. And this is Tim Jones, everybody. This is the guy we love to watch freestyle. Nobody's hit that white jammer out there, but maybe Timmy will be the first one to do it. I'm surprised he's coming out so early, but he's usually a good back end of the freestyle lineup thriller. I'll have this argument with anybody, but I firmly believe that Tim Jones is the best independent-only driver. And what I mean by that is a guy who doesn't drive a Monster Jam at all. He is definitely the best. Oh, thank you to the announcer for letting us know that he popped a rear tire. It sounded like I heard that, but couldn't be so sure. It's that back right. It's going down a little bit. Thankfully, it's not going down very quickly, but that is going to impact him. I don't know why, but it reminded me that Mark McDonald drove in this event one year. I think it was last year, actually. Which was a very interesting... He's driven in it a couple times. Tim Jones not going to let a popped tire stop him. Oh, wow! Tim Jones flying about as much as he can on 3 tires. Goodness gracious, this man doesn't stop. Trying to do what he can and not get caught up, especially the mud is not going to help him. But this is a testament to how well Tim Jones can handle a monster truck, because he is just certainly doing a good job. Round of applause. And it is a 25. It's not enough to be your new leader. That pop tire cost him a freestyle win today in Miami. Here comes Crusheroo. This is Devin Jones. The most King of Miami championships ever. Usually driving the Barbarian truck, but the last couple of years has been in this Crusheroo. Kept getting copyrighted with Van Halen in the background, so we need to start talking. Crusheroo is a kangaroo-based monster truck, a very random decision, but I mean, it's neat. I like it. It's a kangaroo that boxes. It's very funny. It's a really unique design, especially for an independent truck. You don't usually see independent trucks getting this level of uniqueness, but Devin Jones has been driving for a long time. He earned the ability to get something dynamic like the Crusheroo. He's going to back up to hit the bus stack, going almost as far back as he can. That is a very impressive backup. Let's see how it prevails, and he gets a nice jump. I also like the ears are kind of inflated, too. That's a neat addition. You can see Overboard and Wildside getting themselves staged for their freestyles. Only got a couple trucks left to go. Go ahead and jump. Let's see if he can jump. Having some sway bar trouble, it looks like, but not going to stop him from sending it off the bus. Kangaroo, the Crusheroo, winding itself down. Trying to take home the first freestyle win in Miami. He always loves to throw in a big wow moment at the end here in his hometown show. This is Tim Jones's World Finals. When he gets to come out here and compete, this show means more than anything to him. He's from Miami, Oklahoma. Let's see what he does to finish off the freestyle here. I think he's actually just going to call it right in front of us, maybe? No, I think he's going to try his trademark somersault. Let's see if he can pull it off. He could not. That slippery landing impacted him a little bit. He lined it up pretty well, but the ramp kind of shifted him off to the side, and, well, it prevented him from the huge wow moment there, but he does end with some nice air again. He doesn't want to quit, though. He's having a good time on this floor in Miami. Gonna try it again. But this time going full send. A lot of big jumps in here. This could be a new leader. I don't know how they time it out, but he's definitely gone past all the other runs we've seen today. But a solid showing out of Devin Jones. Not enough for the lead at 23 for the Crusheroo. Here's Overboard. This is Jamie Garner. The patriotic body. Missing the entire back half. Not the entire back half. Sorry, I got a little bit of an optical illusion when he jumped over the bus stack. It's because he pitched it inward. But missing the tailgate from his best trick run. Had a nice reverse popper in there. And now he's going to try and go out there and win freestyle. He won racing, so he's already picked up one trophy on the weekend. Going to try and pick up another. And obviously, everyone's eyeing that King of Miami trophy as he gets huge air. The King of Miami trophy is granted to the driver who has the most points overall at the end of the weekend, and he helped himself out so far. I'd have to imagine he's probably in first after a second-place finish in Best Trick and a win in racing. So Jamie is coming out here trying to win this whole thing this weekend. Jamie's driven in this event a lot of times in the past. These fans of Miami are no stranger to the Overboard team. He usually brings Cole Bernard along with him. Did not do that this year, though. He hasn't been at every single one. But Jamie has been a staple at this event over the last 5-6 years now. You think of Miami, you could always pretty much pencil in Bad Decision, Devin Jones, whatever he's driving, Overboard. And now pretty much Wildside's been able to be a part of that too. He's going to be done right there with a 23.5. Felt like that run was a little bit shorter than some of the other ones we've seen, but still was pretty good, and that'll bring out Zach Garner and Wildside. Going for some nice air to begin the run. That's been the common theme tonight, getting that big air. We only have two more competitors after him. We haven't seen Shaker, though, so I am kind of afraid that he did blow his motor, which would take him out for the rest of the night. And I'm sure John Zimmer Jr. will be going out last. So the only two trucks who have yet to freestyle have been Terminal Velocity and Shaker. I don't think we're going to get Shaker, considering that Terminal Velocity is queued up to go next. But Zach Garner's going to do his best to put on a good freestyle here. Nice air again. Zach Garner did it all year long at the Monster Jam level, getting that sick air. And this truck has held up very well along the way. He almost won the Monster Jam World Finals Freestyle Championship. He finished in second place in what was a really ragged edge freestyle and one to remember. And right now, he's going to try and secure a freestyle win in Miami, Oklahoma. Trying to take it away from David Olford, who is still in first right now. But Zach Garner's putting on a really good quality run. John Zimmer Jr. is going to await and see what number he's going to have to beat. It's either going to be the 25.5 from Dirt Crew or whatever Zach Garner puts up there. Is he going to go for that white jammer? Yes, finally someone hits this. If he can line it up straight, there's a ton of mud that's just collected back there. Nice, there you go. Good job out of Zach Garner. Yeah, this has been a very solid run. Every hit had a lot of air. Filling up the floor, hitting almost every obstacle, too. That's an important thing. You want to be able to move your jumps around. Not a lot of drivers have hit every obstacle out there or even come close. And Zach going to full throttle it to the bus stack to send it. Wow. Pop that back right tire. And that will do it for Wildside. Great performance out here. I would give that the lead. He takes it with a 26.5, leaving a little bit of room for John Zimmer Jr. in Terminal Velocity to finish this thing off.
This is our grand finale tonight.
The grand finale from your defending King of Miami. Let's see if that defending King of Miami can walk away with a big old freestyle win. Yeah, big air to kick things off. John Zimmer Jr. is such a bright future in this sport. He almost had a chance at winning the racing championship this year, but got knocked out in the semifinals at the Monster Jam World Finals. Had a pretty good freestyle with a broken truck. This kid is the future of Monster Jam and Monster Trucks, just like the kid that just ran before him and is your current leader, Zach Garner. Last year, John Zimmer Jr. won this thing pretty handedly. He came out here and competed better than anyone else by a lot. It was a very large margin that he was able to win by. He was dominant last year. No one could beat him in racing, and his best trick and freestyles were really consistently good. Slinging it sideways, letting the mud create a bit of a unique move there. I don't know if that was on purpose, but it looked cool. Gotta say, it's really cool to see terminal velocity with some zoomies too. That is exactly how this truck was designed to be driven. Nice and loud and powerful. Reminds me a lot of Blacksmith and Black Pearl, obviously running the wheelies. Such a unique look. I wish more trucks were designed like this, and it is the only wheelies of its kind today. I was about to say, I think we're having a little bit of a stuck throttle there. We did, in fact, have a stuck throttle out of John Zimmer Jr., which is too bad. He got a 24.5. It cuts his run a little bit short. I could hear it. I was like, he's slamming on the brakes, but you could still hear the throttle going, and that means that you've got a problem with that motor. And that is going to end off Freestyle, which gives Zach Garner a freestyle win here in Miami night number 1. There will be a second Miami commentary coming at some point in the near future. But for now, thank you all for joining us for yet another incredible Miami journey. Everybody loves to see Miami. Everyone was asking me to do this show, and here you finally have it. It was great to do. Members, hope you all enjoyed watching this video early. If you're not watching this video on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, well, that means that you're not a member. You can become a member of this channel, just $2 a month, and you can see every single video the second I post it. Cut the waiting times. You don't have to wait 4 or 5 days. It's definitely well worth it if you're interested. Thank you all for watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting, and we'll see you in the next one.